Vegas, eh? All right, not quite Vegas today. Today I'm speaking to you from Ontario, Canada, my home. As you know, my name's Sandman, and that's my dog, Duck. And I'm here for the summertime, and I spend my winters as what's called a snowbird in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I do that to escape the inevitable winter that's coming here. And anyway, I record different vlogs about my thoughts and adventures while I'm in Las Vegas. Of course, I'm not there right now, but why should that stop me from speaking about Las Vegas and experiences there? I know there's some great YouTubers out there, and some of them even just do their broadcast from their car. So I like to think I include a little bit of scenery with my vlogs. But today, just wanted to show some of you about the leaves here changing in the fall in Muskoka, Ontario, Canada. Some of my subscribers have asked me to show them the change compared to when we last spoke. And strangely enough, the leaves are very slowly to change this year. And who knows, that's just nature doing its thing. But you can see everything still looks really, really green. And it will change though, because this is the peak viewing period supposedly. And we measure the forest in terms of percentage change. So right now, this is considered 30 to 40% change, if you can believe it. But we should be looking more up, I guess, at the canopy. You can see one tree up there. It looks like a maple, I think, that has changed. But the evidence is right here on the road. All of the leaves have fallen down from their time on the trees. So anyway, it does look beautiful, but it'll probably be even nicer in about 10 more days, I would think. But exciting for me because in 4 weeks I leave Canada to go to my Las Vegas condo, which I enjoy very much, and where I can take more videos of the city to share with my subscribers who are also fans of Las Vegas. So there is our, oh, it's not a maple tree. Or is it? It's hard. Oh, yes, it is, yeah. I'm not really sure what type of maple that is. I'm going to guess it's a sugar maple, but if you know, please tell me in the comments. A little bit nervous walking down here because the other day Duck and I were down here. I was on my ATV and we ran into some kind of creature that was very low to the ground and very wide bodied and black, and I think it might have been what's called a fisher, a very, very nasty creature that is willing to take on bears, you name it, it's afraid of nothing. So Duck here, being part hound, can smell it. And of course, she's taking a dump just as I go to videotape her. But anyway, so I'm hoping whatever that was here the other day is gone and we don't have to see it again, because it would make nasty work of my little baby duck. So the temperature here right now is probably about 15 Celsius, maybe between 10 and 15 Celsius, which is about 60 Fahrenheit. What my family does for converting to Fahrenheit is you just double the Celsius temperature and add 30. So if it's 10 Celsius, you double it, 20, add 30, and now we're at 50. So it's a lot warmer in the sun, obviously, than in the shade. As you can see, Duck really enjoys it. And I enjoy it too. This time of year is amazing here because it's already beautiful all summer here, but what's really nice is there's no bugs. They have all been scared off by the cold temperatures at night. And we're still getting these beautiful plants blossoming. All right, they're weeds, they're not plants, but still they're really nice. But soon my video will be of tall buildings and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people as I explore the different sites in Las Vegas. There's like some kind of caterpillar creature. Can you see him? It's kind of gross looking. But yes, so I have many exciting plans for my return to Vegas and different sites and adventures to share with you. So once again, I want to thank you for sharing and subscribing, and hopefully we can get 100 subscribers and I can have a little celebration. I'm going to do my first live stream, if I'm allowed to. I don't know how that works. I'm still quite new at this, but as you can tell, I've got my own selfie stick here So that's kind of my first advancement. As you know, I call myself one take Sandman because I don't do any fancy editing like a lot of the professional YouTubers do. I just do my thing, and it's kind of like you're actually with me going for this adventure. So beautiful sunny day. We're gonna check the mail and we'll be right back. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, besides the fact of just showing you the leaves, which, as I say, are about 30% change, although you'd never know it in my area, on my street here, my road. Can't explain it. They're just late this year. I would say normally by now the leaves are well underway. Some areas they are, like across the lake and that, but it seems in my road they're not changing very quickly. So I don't know what that means. Sometimes I wonder if that means it's going to be a really bad winter and the trees are all trying to take advantage of producing as much energy as they can to survive the long winter that we get. It's anybody's guess as good as mine. I'm sure some scientists could make some comments below, but it is fascinating to think how it does this every year. You know, eventually you'll be able to see into the forest. Right now it's just a wall, but eventually that will become, I don't want to say transparent, but you'll be able to see way, way deep in it. Right, Duck? So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was changes in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, and one of the things that attracts me to the city and being there for the winter, besides the fact is there's no snow, is the fact that it's always changing. It never stays the same. So even in the few months, and I say a few months because I was down there for a week in July, but, you know, so let's say I've been away for 6 months. You come back and there's so many different things. Sometimes entire buildings are gone. I remember, I don't know if it was in the course of a year, but the Harmon building, which had been a disaster, I guess, from a design perspective and construction, it had to be torn down and it was already like 20 or 30 stories tall. But, you know, that was gone. So this year, a new restaurant I just discovered called Veggie Way. And it's all this great vegetarian, you know, French fries and burgers. Okay, you know, you could argue it's not healthy, but at least there's no meat in it. And it's gone now. And I ate there in July, and now it's gone in August. So there's a lot of new developments all the time, sure, but there's also a lot of changes that take place. So if you're a person who doesn't like change, you won't like Vegas. But that's what makes it interesting to me. You know, there's always the new stars who are coming to perform, you know, new shows, but entire buildings can disappear, restaurants disappear. You know, the stadium is going to look dramatically different than when the last time I saw it. And I think that's what makes Las Vegas really interesting, is that it's always changing. There's an ATV trail for you. Not it's my ATV trail. But anyway, so Las Vegas is always changing, and one of the changes I'm hoping that takes effect is more for a national perspective. I understand there's legislation that's being looked into to eliminate these user fees or CNF fees. Some restaurants call them concession fees, like Cabo Wabo, and at least they did, unless they've changed it. Cabo Wabo was doing it, and so was Beer Park, and they were charging, Beer Park was charging 4.85% on your bill. And most people just didn't notice it, right? Because, you know, who thinks of that when you're in Vegas? You're just paying your bill. But your $14 bill, you can add the state tax to it, and you can add the sales tax, and you can add the CNF fee. What's the CNF fee? The concession fee simply goes to the business. Plus, don't forget to add your tip. I saw a receipt today that said suggested tips amounts, you know, and that can be very convenient, right? Especially if you're like me and you're not so good with math. You're trying to figure out, okay, you know, what's 20% of, what's 10% of, what's 15? I like 15%. But this bill started suggested tip at 18% and went up from there, 18, 20, 24, I think. Doesn't that seem excessive to you? So they were expecting you to tip that much and pay the CNF fee and the tax, and then the amount for your whatever it was you were buying. That's just outrageous. So if we're talking of changes, that's one of the things I hope changes in Las Vegas. Because if they're not careful, they're going to price themselves out of the tourist trade. And that worries me, because I invested in my condo down there. not to make money, but I want to be there during good times. I don't want it to experience bad times because of what's basically greed. And of course, the fees at the hotels, that people get so mad about. And I don't blame them. If you're not using the internet, if you're not using parking, if you're not using the sports facilities, So anyway, there's legislation of getting rid of that all fees are going to have to be up front. And like we've talked about before, if you didn't know already, the hotels charge these fees to avoid having to share the revenue with online booking agencies. So an online booking agency, and I've talked about it before, so sorry if I repeat myself, but for some people this is their first time watching my videos. But if they're charging $100 for a hotel room, then maybe they have to give 10% to the online booking agency. Well, they don't want to do that. So how do you defeat that? We'll charge $40 for the room. Now you share 10% of $40, which is $4, to the online booking agency. The other $60 you can say is a fee that the hotels, the casinos get to keep entirely. So it's kind of insidious, but it's brilliant too, isn't it? So those extra fees that are added onto your bill, which you supposedly know about, they just outrage people. People get pissed off about it, and so do I. Because it's turning people off. People have alternatives now, right? Especially for the fact if you're gambling. You don't need to go to Las Vegas anymore. Back in the 70s, you did. Now, there's casinos everywhere, including here in Ontario, Canada, that didn't exist 30 years ago. So, add that to countries like Canada that have to pay 37 cents exchange on the dollar, then why are you going there? So people are going to start choosing not to go. For now, they are. For now, they're paying the fees. And I think that these owners of these big corporations that own these casinos had better be careful, because soon people are going to stop paying them. And how do they stop paying them? Because you can't get out of it. You have to pay it unless you comped it, because you're a big gambler, people will just stop going. And that's really unfortunate. So that just adds to things. So some casinos are changing their big dramatic firings and management changes and that sort of thing. But that's just all part of Vegas, I guess. And maybe that's something even I have to accept. But these user fees are driving people crazy, but let's hope that that's one of the changes that's going to take effect. So it's a short video today. It's going to be 14 minutes maximum, I guarantee it. Duck is excited because it's such a beautiful day, right, Duck? And she's pretty good. She sticks with me, doesn't she? So that's the extent of the leaf change so far. It's not as dramatic as I was hoping it would be for everybody, but let's keep watching, and I'll do another video in about 10 days' time, and most of these leaves will have changed or completely fallen. And we'll thank our blessings that we live in such a beautiful area, but soon I'm going back to a beautiful area known as Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'll be able to see the beautiful desert and Red Rock Canyon and even the beauty of the Strip, because I think it's beautiful in its own way as well. The architecture is incredible. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Once I get to that 100 subscriber mark, I'm hoping to do my first live stream, if I'm allowed to do that on YouTube. I don't know how that works, but we're hoping so. Thanks for subscribing, and be good, do good. Vegas, eh?